Hello, and welcome back to Sexual. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the MadCap. I'm Jasmine Pazzano.
And I'm Greg DeClara. On today's loopy episode,
find out how the poster boy for awkwardness, Michael Cera, made a buddy when someone accidentally texted him.
How one company is ringing in the holidays sans trousers.
We have the scoop on the word of the year. Hint, hint, you've probably taken one.
See why people in Northern California were freaked out by one social media experiment.
And the Ryersonian Sarah Warren is in studio today to talk about how a single tweet could land you the pink slip. But first, this story absolutely kills me, Greg. I'm sure you've had someone text you thinking you're someone else, or maybe you texted a random person thinking it was someone you knew. But did you ever find out who was on the other end? In this story, it was Michael Cera. Cera received a text from a number he didn't recognize. He introduced himself as Michael, and the guy, Jeremy, realized he made a mistake. But instead of dropping the convo, a hilarious friendship ensued for 8 whole months. Michael proves himself to be, over text at least, quite a sentimental guy. He reminded Jeremy when their friendship hit the 1-month mark. He texted Jeremy, quote, "Time moves," end quote. Michael even tried inviting Jeremy places, like Vegas. When Jeremy invited him out to a house party, Michael showed up to a group of fans outside the house. But Jeremy did not come out to see Michael. Michael decided to leave Jeremy alone for 5 weeks. When he tried calling him, Jeremy says he'll quote-unquote nail him if he redials. Then he tried texting Jeremy 16 times with no replies. His stream of texts end when a girl named Amanda answers, saying she now has his number and that she hopes Michael finds his friend. We don't really know if this Amanda person is actually Jeremy trying to ward him off, or maybe Jeremy did change his number. Nonetheless, Michael Cera was rejected. I think that this is a very humanizing story, and it shows that anyone can feel unwanted at one point or another.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of a missed text conversation going on this long. And I bet you if Jeremy is watching our show or read the New Yorker piece, he's definitely kicking himself now. But at the same time, in his defense, the odds of it actually being Michael Cera or another celebrity is really rare. And I can't say myself that I would continue texting someone for even as long as he did. And if they did, I would definitely need some sort of picture proof because it's so easy to lie over text.
Yeah, some ID proof for sure. You can see the full conversation in Michael Cera's article titled "My Man Jeremy" on the New Yorker's website.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Santa has paraded his way across Toronto, and the holiday season is officially upon us. With that comes new music, new decorations, and new promotions. American retailer Kmart got in on the festivities recently, which put them on the naughty list. Their new commercial features 6 men in tuxedo tops and Joe Boxer bottoms. The men begin in front of a table ringing bells, but a few seconds in and the table moves to reveal the pantless models. They proceed to squat down and shake their bottoms and bells to jingle bells. The commercial has people split. Some love it, while others have threatened to never shop at the store again on the company's Facebook page. Regardless of your opinion, I think it's created a lot of buzz for the company. They're really known for their provocative commercials. Shit My Pants on their online was really, really famous. And when you think about Kmart as a retailer, they're really behind Walmart and Target. So any sort of PR for them is good PR.
I agree. It's very smart marketing, and you're always wondering what Kmart is going to do next. It's always fun to see a family-friendly company take risks like this. So, Greg, the results are in. We now know the word of the year. It's something almost every one of us has taken, whether we will admit it or not. The official word of 2013 is, drum roll please, selfie. The noun has become so popular that the word's use jumped 17,000% within the last year. Selfie was added to the online Oxford Dictionary earlier this year. Now the nickname for the self-portrait photograph may be making its way into the official Oxford Dictionary as well. The Telegraph says we could see Selfie slip its way into the book as early as next month. Selfies make me kind of nostalgic and definitely sad. I look at photos of my grandparents in professional studio photograph, and they look so poised and the lighting is so perfect. And in other photos of them, they're very candid shots. And I think that selfies kind of strip photos of their candidness because you're so worried about how you look and getting yourself in the shot. And yeah, I would know. I've taken one.
Agreed. I'm not a huge fan of them, but at the same time, we're all guilty of taking one ourselves or being in one, really. That being said, I don't mind them in moderation, as a lot of things, but when they take up your entire feed, you really hate those people. I know you do. I also think it's good that Oxford is kind of staying up with the times. Some people say that the English language is going to hell in a handbag, but, language develops over time, and I think it's good that they're, keeping with evolution.
So selfies are hip and happening right now, but who took the very first selfie? We tracked down this piece of history for you all. In the dark days of 2002, an Australian man lifted his camera to his face and took the very first self-portrait ever, according to the Oxford Dictionary. It's an out-of-focus photo of the guy's busted lip that he posted to an ABC online science forum. He tripped over a set of stairs while he was drunk and wanted to document the 1 centimeter long hole that went through his bottom lip. It's a far cry from the planned-out glamorous selfies we see on our Instagram feeds today.
Evolution, Jasmine, evolution. We all know social media is a polarizing vehicle to express ourselves. It makes it easier to connect with friends, but it also raises concerns with privacy and just who is creeping on your Saturday night selfies. One man took to the streets to show people just how much information you can get from complete strangers through something as simple as an Instagram post. Take a listen.
Are you Stephanie?
How do you know me?
How you doing? I'm Jack.
Did you just make that up and you just said that?
No, Elena, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I was just gonna say happy birthday. Someone in your family's referred to as Pops. Is it like a dad or a grandpa or something?
You were tripping me out right now.
Really?
Yeah.
This is just a few of the people Jake Vale approached at random in California. He got all of the information by searching for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook posts closest to his location. There was one girl who posts an Instagram photo of her dog, which leads to Jeff knowing her first and last name, the type of dog she owns, and the nickname she calls him, which we find very few people know about. He finds other people's birthdays and wishes them the best, family member names, where they work, and where and what they've eaten. At the end of the experiment, he lets everyone in on the prank. Most laugh it off, but one guy surprisingly threatens to call the police for invading his privacy, even though all the posts were public. The interweb, Jasmine, is obviously a scary place. Most of my things are on private except Twitter because as journalists, we want people to see, our Twitter feed. We've seen this a lot of times, and people have been told it a bunch of times that social media, people can get a lot of information from you. And I think this is just another example of that. You got to be careful.
This is a lot of fun, and it reminds me so much of a Second City Toronto skit I saw a couple years ago. The people on stage, the actors, called this quote-unquote random couple up to the stage, and the two actors started acting like this couple, naming off their high school and where they met, and the couple started laughing, and they were freaked out that the actors knew so much about them. Turns out they looked up the audience members' names on Facebook, and they did this when they signed up to come to the show. Mm-hmm. The actors then sang a song called Protect Your Shit, and I think they put it very eloquently.
Here's another reason to tighten up your privacy settings. A lot of North American employers look for candidates via social media or scan the applicants' social media pages. The Ryersonian's Cera Warren is with us again today. She's been doing some deep digging about the do's and don'ts of social media, especially if you like employment. Cera, thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
So Cera, who knew a single post could get you canned?
Well, turns out it really, really can. In my research for the feature that just came out in the print edition of the Ryersonian yesterday, I found out that 93% of employers will search a candidate via social media, especially once they've applied and everything like that. And 1 out of 3 employers will reject a candidate based on something they find out about them on social media. So people really do have to be careful nowadays, especially with Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I mean, LinkedIn is probably the best thing that everyone should be on because it's a professional profile, but you really do have to protect and utilize the privacy settings on Facebook and Instagram especially. I mean, and also, if you're the kind of person that likes to post your party photos of keg stands or anything like that, you have to be super, super careful.
So what are some of the worst case scenarios with posts that you've seen?
Well, we did a storify that we put up online at www.ryersonian.ca. So I'll read you a few. I won't say the person's Twitter handle. So I've got about 4 or 5 here. So one of them is, "It's not busy and I hate my job, so I'm sitting in the back watching Netflix." A definite don't. Don't post that you're watching Netflix at work, guys. The next one, "Definitely supposed to be working right now. Hiding in the bathroom. SMH, I hate my job," and a sad face. The next one, "I hate my boss so much, guys. I've never wanted to murder someone so much in my life." Again, do not post this. I mentioned this in my article. There's an app on Twitter, actually. It's called Fire Me. So it was developed at the University of Hanover in Germany. And basically what this app on Twitter does is based on certain words on Twitter, it will grab tweets of people that talk about how much they hate their job, how much they hate their boss. And then what it does, it sends an @reply to the person that tweeted it, telling them that they may want to reconsider their tweet and delete it. So it's kind of an interesting thing. And it filters and all of the worst tweets and everything like that. So that's where we got a lot of these from. So the last tweet that I'm going to read to you, "Sometimes I think about robbing my job just because I hate working here, and I'll never have to work again. Is that bad?" Just it's pretty ridiculous what people will post on Twitter.
That's a big red flag, yeah.
Well,
And Twitter is such a huge platform, and it is open to everyone because everyone's Twitter is open. I don't protect mine. Again, like you said, we're journalists. We want people to read what we're writing and everything like that. But it's pretty ridiculous that some people will post these things.
With the Fire Me app, is it a personal message that they send you, or is it a tweet at you that's almost automatic?
I'm pretty sure it's automatic. It's automatic. I forget if it's a direct message or a tweet, though. I think it's just an @reply. So it's not a message. I'm pretty sure it's an actual public thing that everyone can see, like when you tag someone on their Twitter handle.
Well, I think we can draw some conclusions from our conversation, and we should never post anything about our jobs.
Never.
No bosses, no coworkers.
No, you really shouldn't. And that's the thing, too, right? If an employer is going to search you on social media, Twitter usually, I don't know if you guys ever, this is one of the things that everyone should do that I found out in my research and through some of my interviews with, for instance, Ryerson University's digital community facilitator, Hamza Khan. He said everyone should probably Google themselves or something to that accord. He Googled me before the interview, and he said, "I know, everything about you now." It's a stalker culture is what he said. And then after the interview, I went home and I Googled my name. So he says usually if you just put in, if it's a generic name, supplement it with a comma, city, and he put Ryerson University. And on the first page of Google results, my Twitter came up. You could find my Facebook. I mean, you couldn't see everything on my Facebook, which is good. And he went to my Instagram, and he was basically like, "I can tell everything. I know what you had for dinner last night. I know your dog's name," everything like that. Luckily, I mean, I'm careful with my social media, so I don't post anything that's outrageous. But still, though, everyone can find out a little bit about you. So people beware, guard yourselves, because you don't want to get fired or not get hired.
And Google yourselves.
Often. Exactly. It might be a little bit weird and a little bit self-absorbed, but you should do it.
The internet never forgets, right, guys? Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for coming in, Cera. Remind me to never tweet anything ever again.
I will. Don't you worry.
You can view all of Cera's coverage on Ryersonian.ca and in the new issue of the Ryersonian newspaper on stands now.
That's it for this week's episode of the MadCap. Just a reminder that you can see all of the stories we mentioned in the links below our podcast.
And remember, a group of flamingos is called a flamboyance.
And please, people, don't spend any of your remaining OSAP money on Chipotle. I'm Greg DeClara.
And I'm Jasmine Pazzano.